Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Today I'm back to talk about a topic that makes me irritated because, for those who don't know, I was sick for the first half of October, and I convinced myself that I could teach my 2-day clinic despite not being able to sit up or bend without my face running and the pressure in my face giving me really severe headaches. So I was what you would call shoulding myself, because I was saying I should be feeling better by now, I should be able to do this. They put their faith in me to be able to teach this, and I should be capable of teaching it, which I was, intellectually, but not physically. So shoulding is when we tell ourselves that we should be doing something else, we should be feeling something else, we could be doing something better, and essentially it's us just being really hard on ourselves and feeding into the expectation that we're this unstoppable human being and we should be able to do everything, right? And we know that humans have limitations. We need food, sleep to have energy, and without those things we cannot do everything. But in terms of setting the unrealistic expectations, you really want to look at where in your life or who has demonstrated them for you. Where are the expectations coming from? Why do you think that you should be able to do this? Or why are you feeling that instead of having a 20-minute break between some clients to read, why do you feel like you should be doing work instead? So it's a really difficult thing to talk about sometimes because a lot of people don't realize that they're setting these expectations for themselves and don't realize where they're coming from. So it's an interesting thing to talk about, especially if you have close friends that also do the same thing. So especially if you're a single parent and you're working really, really hard and trying to balance everything, or you and your spouse are both working parents and you're having a really hard time with that, or you're an entrepreneur and you're having a hard time balancing social life and having time for work, anything like that, there are no limit to the number of situations where this would be necessary. But when you're currently in the situation, you can change what's happening. But if you think back on something 10 years ago and be like, oh, I should have said something at the time, there's nothing you could do about that, and ruminating on it isn't going to make the situation any better unless you destroyed a friendship or something like that and you can go back and talk to that person saying, oh, I wish I should have helped that old lady with her grocery cart today. There's nothing you can do about what already happened. All you can do is change moving forward. So if you see somebody who needs help, help them. It won't fix the old lady, or won't help the old lady that you didn't help at the time, but it will put you on the path to feeling better about it. It doesn't mean you should always. In this case, if you're putting yourself out or stretching yourself too far in order to help somebody else, you still have to remember that you're a priority. People who commonly should themselves are perfectionists because they have very high expectations and think that they should be able to do everything perfectly by themselves, and they kind of just keep working on a thing until it's done instead of saying that finished is better than perfect. People who are not good at resting, which I have to say I'm not great at. I am for the first day or so, but that was 2 whole weeks. And I had a lot of plans for October, and all of them kind of fell through the cracks. So I was saying I should be feeling better by now. And when I was resting, I said I should be doing work, but my head hurt so much that I couldn't focus on anything. So it's definitely a learning experience, and just because you do good at it one time doesn't mean it's going to be easier next time. There's a lot of very steep learning curve with shoulding, and we find that we'll stop saying it to ourselves in certain situations. So say you've gotten better at shoulding yourself about having a non-water beverage with dinner. You say, I really should be drinking water, But if you're working really hard all day, you're perfectly entitled to a glass of whatever you want at dinner time, as long as it's in moderation, right? People who are always busy, and this is the superhumans that we see that are always constantly running around, I find that they shed themselves a lot because they're terrible at resting as well, but they're also not good at stopping to do things that would help them feel better or to fill their cup and rest. So I'm curious what your take on shoulding is. One of the words that I don't like is should, because it sets those expectations. There's also could, but there's less intense feeling like you definitely need to do this thing. So interested to hear your thoughts. Have a fabulous Halloween, and I'm starting some more Instagram lives next month, so keep an eye out for those, and I will see you, I think the first one's on Sunday. So have a great Halloween, and I will see you then.